I definitely thank
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your new wrestling obsession off the mat. Thank you to everyone who's liked, subscribed, and checked us out. And if you haven't done so, make sure to do that before you find the way out on the end of tonight's episode. How are we doing tonight, Sticks and Mr. Domtober?
Doing great. Doing
fantastic, man. I had a busy week. I'm happy that it's my Friday, and I get to relax just a tiny bit, between everything else and getting ready for that crazy comic cruise in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. Well, we have a full slate of wrestling to talk about tonight. So what do you boys say that we jump into it? Now, before we get into the news, if you look at the chat, I did put a poll up there. Interested to see what people have to say about Tony Khan and AEW, and if they should just release Ricky Starks, Britt Baker, and Ray Phoenix already and let them go on their way to WWE, or if he should continue to try to save face and save his pride and keep them in AEW.
I hate people being a prisoner to a place that they actually thought that. Hey, look, I'm not going to knock AEW, man. I'm not going to knock it. There's some good things about it, but it seems like you lock in, and if it's not your cup of tea, you're stuck. Hey, look, with every contract, you sign a contract, yes, you have to go through with it. You signed that contract for a reason. You got money, and it's like with everything else. You have to, honor it. And sometimes the honoring thing may not be the best thing because you don't like it there. You're gonna have to just wing it out. But the whole thing with adding the extra time, that's a little suspect right there to do that, to hold on to a guy that the contract ends. And
especially when when it was known, or he wasn't known for doing that. Tony Khan was not known for being the one that's going to extend time for injury. But when it all came out that Penta and his brother Ray Phoenix wanted to go to WWE, that's when he got petty. And that's when he added injury time and paying Ricky Starks and paying Ray Phoenix just to sit at home. The Britt Baker situation is a whole nother cup of tea for another time, but those are three huge pillars of AEW that started that company that want to leave and go to what is being touted as the new promised land in WWE.
Well, it's crazy. The whispers in Kenny Omega's ear is that people are starting to whisper in his ear that maybe he should be WWE bound, and try to, and look, I know he's wear and tear. He has a lot of things going on. His wrestling career might be cut short a little bit more because of all the things that he went through. But I think if he holds up, he could actually be pretty good in the WWE. I think they'll have a good creative, for him to follow over there. And look, WWE was they never gave you time off. They never gave you the time to spend with family. They're doing that more now than ever before, which that is a treat. So wrestlers are happy now. Triple H is throwing out all the cards that open arms, man. Come to this company, and it's no more the McMahon era. It is the Triple H era. And
it's the Netflix era.
Yeah, the Netflix era, exactly.
But yeah, Kenny Omega is one of those guys that I've always said needs to come to WWE. I think, he's had a Hall of Fame career in New Japan. He's, had a decent run in AEW to say the least, but I feel like to solidify him as the overall superstar, bona fide superstar that he is already, but just to solidify that, he needs to have a run in WWE. He needs to have a WrestleMania match against the likes of AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, guys that he's worked with in the past, but can go and allow him to go. And listen, I'm shocked that Will Ospreay, I'm not shocked because of the schedule and allows them to be next to their family more, but the fact that Will Ospreay or, Okada, people like that chose AEW over going to WWE. I feel like that's talent that should be there. Ospreay is going to be amazing no matter where he's at, but I feel like he's just being wasted. WWE would use him so much more and much better than AEW has.
No, I can tell you this. The money's good. Tony Khan is giving a shitload of money, to come play in his sandbox and to play in his park. And at the end of the day, sometimes the money overshadows, the clarity of going to what the best place is. And look, I'm not a professional wrestler. I'm not an athlete. Now, I played sports growing up, and I did my thing. And it is very hard to choose loyalty.
This picture up here says differently. I believe that's you up there in a singlet, getting ready to throw a block up.
Yeah, but I really think that it's a hard choice to make. Money is good, and look, you get hurt one time in wrestling, that's it, man. You can't wrestle anymore. You can't do it, and you get that contract. You're locked into that contract. It's like a football player getting that $10 million signing bonus, and you didn't even play yet, and you get that. God forbid something happens. So I can understand why athletes take the money, and there's no loyalty. And look what the Yankees are going through. Yankees, a couple of players, freaking Soto went to the Mets, and what's the pitcher from Japan that signed with the Dodgers? The Yankees were locked and sealed almost, and he went to the Dodgers. So the money.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. No, not Shohei Ohtani. The other guy. There's another dude that was really
the newer
good.
one that
he just signed now. They got a crazy pitching staff over in the Dodgers because everybody wants to go there. But with wrestling, it's like, after their run in AEW, more of the people are definitely going to try to jump aboard, come back to WWE and see what they got to offer.
Let's hope. We'll see what the future holds, but let's get into a little bit of wrestling news. And our top story tonight, leading us off in our news, is the reaction and the fallout from that scathing CM Punk promo that he cut on Hulk Hogan on Monday night.
Beautiful.
CM Punk had zero hesitation in calling out Hulk Hogan during his promo on January 20th episode of Raw, and now it's confirmed that his Savage Royal Rumble threat was completely unscripted. During a live interview with Jackie Redmond, Punk doubled down on his beliefs that no one can stop him when winning the 2025 Royal Rumble, throwing out names like John Cena, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, and Sami Zayn. Then he decided to take things up a notch, delivering a direct shot at the Hulkster. You put Hulk Hogan in the Rumble, I'll throw his dusty ass over the top rope, and I'll kill Hulkamania once and for all.
Yes.
Well, according to Fightful Select, this line wasn't part of the original script. Punk went completely off the cuff with it. However, WWE officials did not seem to mind, as sources backstage reportedly laughed at the comments rather than seeing it as a problem. There is no heat on Punk for making the remarks, which adds speculation that WWE is giving him more creative freedom on the mic. What'd you guys think of that Punk promo?
That was funny. I laughed when he mentioned the dusty ass. I'll throw you at the end in Hulkamania. I think after the fallout of the first episode of Netflix, the Netflix era, he came out and everybody booed his ass. I think they might go. They kept saying go to the persona of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the bad Hulk Hogan, just play with that persona. And I think maybe Hulkamania might definitely that might tell you he's coming into Royal Rumble. You could tell you that that's going to be in the Royal Rumble. He's going to be one.
Hogan?
Dude, he's too old and beat up.
I know, but
no way he's wrestling.
I don't know. Maybe he causes CM Punk to lose. I don't know. Maybe because they want to use him in more creative things. He may not be able to wrestle.
That maybe, yeah. I can see him coming down and being a distraction for him. Sure.
Yeah, maybe. But that was a funny promo because you never know what comes out of CM Punk's mouth anyway. CM Punk, he drops the mic everywhere he goes.
I mean, if Hogan gets in that ring and gets thrown over the top rope, he better be landing on a stretcher because he's gonna need it.
Yeah, he's had so many back surgeries.
Oh my God, yeah.
Did he have a leg surgery?
All jacked up.
Did he just have a hip surgery?
I think he just had.
He may have, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's had hip replacements. I know he's had a ton of back surgeries. Hogan ain't getting nowhere near that ring in a competing manner.
Another thing is, isn't his girlfriend like 30 years younger than him, or 40 years younger than him?
His wife. I think he married her.
Yeah, was she like? How old was Hogan? Like 60 something, almost 70.
He's closer to 70 than I think he is.
He's closer to 70.
And then his wife is like 40 years old or 35 or something like that. What is that?
Listen, Hulk is he's 71.
71? Okay.
And his wife is.
I want to say she's 45 or something.
Doesn't say how old she is on this.
Oh.
She's 25 years younger than Hogan.
Okay, 25. Okay.
Oh, there you
go. Yeah, so she's like close to 50.
Yeah, close to 50.
It's like 45. Yeah.
Listen, Hulkamania does not need to run wild anymore. Hulkamania needs to stop. I can't believe how many ex-wrestlers who do what we're doing now and have podcasts are out there saying, oh, well, I just think that Hulk being booed was a one-off because of where they were. We'll see Saturday Night Main Event. If he gets booed out of the building again, it ain't a one-off.
You know what? The seed is planted. I think he's going to get booed. He definitely will get booed. He is going to get booed, man, because, like, look, regardless of the fact that his political stance and what the situation is, a lot of the shit, like I keep saying, didn't he have like another racist tyrant about things?
Probably.
Recently too. It's like he just, I don't know. I mean, once you plant the seed for something, there's no going back, I think.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Stranger things have happened in this country.
There's no better CM Punk than an unscripted, willing to say whatever he needs to say, CM Punk. So glad that they're going to let him go a little bit off script, and they're kind of loosening the reins that they probably put on him when he came back after all those years.
Look, I can tell you this. See, that's the thing. Anytime you think of a wrestler that will never come back to WWE, think back CM Punk. Hell froze over. He came back. So it's possible for anybody to come into the comeback. And the people,
well, I don't think Vince can come back.
No, Vince don't. No, not Vince.
There's no coming back for Vince.
Yeah. Okay, but it's a lot of rumblings with Vince too. That's well, we'll see what happens with that. But
probably nothing.
Next up on the docket, everyone's favorite wrestler, Goldberg. Or if you ask Marco, Goldberg is the greatest professional wrestler. Well, Goldberg's WWE return is still up in the air, despite early reports suggesting he would appear on January 27th episode of Raw in Atlanta. While fans were expecting to see the Hall of Famer in some capacity, WWE has not advertised him, leaving questions about whether he'll actually be there. Goldberg previously confirmed on ESPN's College Game Day that he will have his retirement match in WWE this year. His last match was back in 2022 when he lost to Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber. More recently, Goldberg had a stare down with Gunther at WWE's Bad Blood, seemingly set up his farewell match, but as of now, no official dates have been set.
Well, I think either he comes out in the Rumble as one of the participants, or his match is already set for WrestleMania. It's a one and done. He's going to be in the grandest stage of all, WrestleMania. Fight John Cena.
No.
John Cena fight
his retirement match is going to be against the likes of like Gunther or somebody young where he can quote unquote pass the torch to.
Yeah. How about he fights Ron Breakker?
That would make sense.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate that.
I could see against Breakker. Breakker would make sense.
That would be something. And look, there's nothing else for this man to prove. He's done. He fought just about everybody in wrestling. He's done his thing. He's going to pass the torch because the new generation of wrestlers coming. The same thing like Cena is going to pass the torch when he leaves. So
I think he's got a lot to prove still, but he just can't do it anymore. I think that's what it is. He can't deliver the spear. He's dropping dudes on their heads. He's got a lot to prove because essentially when he had his prime after his run in WCW, I mean, the dude hurt Bret Hart. I know we've heard about it all over and over again, but the kick that basically ended Bret Hart's career, he put a hit out on the Hitman and followed through. So I think the dude still had a lot to prove, but he decided to take his ball and go home because he wasn't the shiny new toy. And well, at least in my opinion, it feels like he wasn't the shiny new toy in WWE when he came over. And him and Brock had that Mania match, and they didn't like their reception, and he decided to take his ball and go home.
Yeah,
and be bitter until he got put into the Hall of Fame, and then came back for a couple of matches, and then he was past his prime. Like, you think you could do it, you think you can go, and then you can't. What are you gonna do, man? Like, how many more times is he gonna go out there and just get ridiculed for his performance and how poor he's doing? And
you know what sucks? Look, regardless of the fact that how in shape he is, Father Time catches up to you no matter how good shape you are and how how young. It's just one of those things where, look, I'm feeling Father Time, and I'm not even an athlete. I'm feeling Father Time, going to work, getting up and standing up for freaking 8 hours and doing my job and walking stairs and doing all that stuff. Just imagine performing in a ring and doing what you've done before. You hit the person, you're supposed to hurt the person. That person, you hitting them, you get hurt because your body can't take the hits anymore.
Right.
And it's like,
when you're like in his case, probably I'm gonna say it. Your mind is willing, the mind is willing, your body isn't. You can't take the bumps. You can't take the bumps anymore. It's time to stop. Don't even bother.
You could have a list of people for him to fight for his torch, but I think if you really think about it, they did say that they're going to push Ron Breaker.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's the best way you push him to fight a legend in Goldberg. You beat Goldberg, and you become a legend, and you save him.
He's got to do it defiantly, though. He's got to hit Goldberg with a spear and a jackhammer defiantly. Use his 2 moves against him. 1, 2, 3. Game over. No questions. No interference. No nothing. Got to be clean in the middle of the ring.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then adios Goldberg. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
Would you want him as commentary? Would you like him as commentary?
No,
I
wouldn't.
No.
No, you said it quickly. No, I wouldn't.
No.
Nope, I'm good. Don't need no Goldberg commentary.
I don't think he's got mic qualities. Like you think back into wrestlers that have come on the mic, Jesse Ventura, Jerry the King Lawler. Those guys could use a mic. He never can.
Yeah.
He can.
I was actually watching.
You're next.
I was actually watching the old video of Goldberg when he was in WCW, when the whole NWO, when the good NWO and the bad all teamed up against him, when they all went against him, like everybody was all against Goldberg. I was watching that video. It was pretty good. WCW had some good storylines back in the day when Kevin Nash was lured into the limousine and freaking Macho Man was driving it. He got smashed up by the Jeep, stuff like that. But
you get fun stuff out of. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think anyone's clamoring to see Goldberg's final match. Like there were people when he was having matches in Saudi were saying no, stop. The word I think nobody forgot that he beat the Fiend for the title in Saudi for no reason.
I know. That's the biggest mistake that the WWE did. I understand that. And it's the same thing. Look. He can't get over anymore. Last match, and like I said, the best thing would be Ron Breaker to push Ron Breaker to a higher level, and Goldberg gone, and then Bret Hart could say, "You're finished."
Well, Bret Hart will still be out there. I mean, he kicked me in the head.
Yeah, I know.
He's got to hold on to it because he'll never let it go.
Yeah,
but kicking him in the head gave him he had a stroke. Maybe he had a stroke.
Yeah,
he did, right? Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
it's just a shame what happened to Owen because Owen was a better wrestler and Owen would have showed Bret up eventually. So,
yeah, definitely. You're right.
Moving on, we got a little bit of not Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams news. Yeah. Trick Williams has already made major waves at NXT, becoming a 2-time NXT champion and headlining multiple premium live events. Now he's more confident than ever that his move to the main roster is just around the corner, as Dom has been more than vocal about and really just, out there campaigning for this to happen. Williams, who originally rose to prominence alongside Carmelo Hayes before stepping out of his own, spoke to Tailgate Talks with DeMarco and Garcia, where he made it clear that his next step has to be Raw or SmackDown. I'm very confident. I think it has to be soon. I've been very blessed, very fortunate for the career that I wish I had in football. I got it tenfold with my wrestling career. I'm grateful for that. Listen, Trick Williams is a great NXT talent, but NXT's men's roster needs a lot of help. And we'll have to see how this TNA thing, we already saw some talent show up on the TNA pay-per-view this weekend.
Yep.
So we'll have to see how this TNA deal flushes out with NXT, but the NXT males roster is not as bountiful as it once was. Trick Williams, if you're in a hurry to go up to SmackDown and be the next Carmelo Hayes, who's jobbing out and not doing anything, be my guest.
Yep.
Like, how many talents from NXT are being called up and not being used?
True. Hey, look, it sucks because right now they are opening the door for SmackDown to bring in NXT talent. And I know the women's division is phenomenal. They have a overabundance of women that can actually come into the main roster now to get them out of there, and you'll still have a lot more talent. Trick Williams, I want him to come up because he is good, but I think one more stint of trying to get the belt and playing around the roster one more time, then you could bring him up. Maybe like next year. Give him a little bit more time. And look, the NXT thing, and look, me personally, I was talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about things, and we mentioned about, that SmackDown and Raw, you have this talent, you have people that aren't being used. They should get they should make another show to put these people on. Even though NXT is a development thing, leave
it Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. But then I said, look at NXT. On NXT, look at TNA. Potentially, WWE could buy that company out, and you can use that as the other wrestling faction that can have the wrestlers that really don't see a lot of time on SmackDown and Raw, and you have them exclusively on TNA. You have more championships, you have more of that, and you can have more of the crossover things. You have that one show. You can separate the shows, but TNA could be the show where all the talent crosses over, like in main events and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe next year, time by the end of next year, we can see TNA under the banner of WWE. You never know. Crazy things have happened.
I just think with, the likes of Malachi Black coming back, the talk about potentially Ricky Starks coming over when his contract's up.
Yep.
Britt Baker, whoever else is wanting to come back to WWE. You got Jordan Grace coming over. Now she ended her stint with TNA.
Yep.
So Ray Phoenix, you have all this premium talent that's going to come here, and they're not going to want to go to NXT.
I know.
They're going to want to come to the main roster. So the only way I see Trick Williams being called up to the main roster is if Netflix gets their way, and after Mania, we get that draft, and we get a sweeping, all superstars packed on Raw, and SmackDown is left with call-up talent. But I don't see that happening because I really think after Mania, Gunther's going to be shipped to, if he's even the champion, but whoever's the World Heavyweight Champion is going to go to SmackDown.
Yes.
Whoever's the WWE Champion is coming to Raw. Raw's going to be their flagship. Netflix gave them $1 billion plus for this Raw product. Their main talent is going to be on Raw. Your Cody Rhodes is going to come to Raw, I think, eventually. So, I mean, it makes sense in that standpoint. If we're going to get a call up, maybe around a WWE draft in May, June. But I don't think right now is the right time for Trick Williams because he's still got a lot to do and a lot to prove in the NXT men's division. And I would hate to see a talent like his be called up and not be used on WWE, like Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes has been used as a mid-carder, a lower mid-carder, or a jobber. He gets squashed or talk shit in the backstage area.
Yeah.
And he's not in play for, he was in play for a few titles, but it was one of those situations where you knew he wasn't going to win it because it was always in a triple threat. It's just not, Carmelo Hayes isn't getting that push that you'd like to see him, especially if you're going to bring up a guy who was, for all intents and purposes, his protege in Trick Williams.
Yeah. Look, you're right. See, Carmelo Hayes, actually, when he came up, he was big down there. He was big in NXT. He did a lot in NXT. But he could have benefited staying there like one more year before he came up. He could have did that. That's what I'm trying to say. All the talent that's going to be available, WB is going to grab.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to grab, and they're going to try to put on their shows to build up rosters. And like you said, you're right. The men's division NXT is really bad. They really need to make way in bringing people up. And like I said, any chance, that's why TNA, that is going to be big down the road if they do purchase. If they do take that, you have all that talent there
or something
that you can mix into NXT. Maybe they'll dismantle TNA. Maybe it won't be any more TNA.
They don't need to purchase. This deal they have right now is very lucrative for both companies.
Exactly. They're both going to make money. I know.
Yeah. So, and you never know who's going to show up. So you're going to have people tuning into both products now to see who's going to show up when. I mean, you already have Cora Jade going over there trying to take the TNA Women's Championship. And
you're right.
Bailey showed up, didn't she?
No, she didn't show up.
Oh, no, she was the other girl on.
I really do like the talent in NXT. They have a lot of really good talent down there.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks because look at the Austin Theory and what's his name? Friggin' they're just jobbers walking around the backstage.
Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were great. They were both. Grayson Waller had some good friggin' storylines in NXT. So I don't know. Eventually, something's got to give, and like I said, and if the TNA deal really works out, you have a lot more talent there, and then whoever leaves AEW comes right to the main roster or goes to NXT.
Yeah. But our next story, oh man, Mr. Boring Corbin. Baron Corbin is no longer part of the WWE family following his departure back in November 2024. It was simply just a matter of time before Corbin would reinvent himself outside of WWE, and now Corbin has revealed his new ring name, something that will definitely excite fans. Corbin made his return to the ring this month, in this month's People vs. GCW event, where he faced Josh Barnett in a Bloodsport match, but lost. Womp, womp, womp. Yeah. Although he wrestled under his real name, he recently filed a trademark for the name Bishop Dyer, spelled Dyer, which has sparked rumors that this could be his new ring name. Yeah. While speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Baron Corbin confirmed he's going to wrestle under the name The Nomad, Bishop Dyer. This new name combines his old WWE character and his future wrestling plans. What do you think of the new persona for Baron Corbin? I got to stop calling him boring. Baron Corbin. And do you think it's really going to do anything to change his character? Because he thinks that towards the end of his WWE career, he was getting heat. He was getting, catching on, and people were chanting his name. And he thinks that his last run on the main roster ended by sabotage.
When he came up as Barry Corbin, the freaking Lone Wolf, that was his best persona. To be the Lone Wolf, dark guy, the guy comes out. When he became Happy Corbin, freaking that he hit the lotto, and then they put him with JBL, and he's just he
was better as bum ass Corbin.
Yeah, bum ass Corbin. He lost everything. I know. Yeah, I don't know, man. He did pretty good in NXT when they brought him back down to NXT. He was gaining some steam down there. He was getting a little, rah-rah pickup.
Pairing him with Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and that was great. It was working. But after that, he came back to the main roster. What happened? He was the backstage cloney, freaking just back there, just freaking talking and stupid. I don't know, man.
He did get clowned a little bit, but
I I've never been a Baron Corbin fan. I just felt like his lone wolf persona was, very close. Him and Damian Priest had very close personas in the Archer, the Archer of Infamy, and the lone wolf Baron Corbin. I hope that Baron Corbin is the next generation of superstar that pulls a Drew McIntyre or a Cody Rhodes and goes into, or Zack Ryder and goes into the Indies. I shouldn't call him Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona goes into the Indies, reinvents himself, makes a new name for himself, and has the opportunity to come back to WWE as a bigger star than when he left, because he can be a good talent. I just think he didn't get over with people, and people kind of got sick and tired of him. And I don't know. I mean, they jobbered him out of the Money in the Bank briefcase, and like it just, I don't know. It just was not a good. It just didn't work for me personally.
I don't know. Hey, listen. Maybe the third time, the fourth time, the charm. You see what happens. I wish him the best. You go someplace. See what happens. And look at Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle is doing his thing. You
don't really hear about him much anymore.
No, he just won the championship over in
GLC or whatever it is.
Yeah, he just won the championship.
And what promotion?
Great Lakes Wrestling or something like that.
Oh,
yeah. So he won something, man. So kind of
the esteemed Great Lakes Wrestling.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hey, Berdazzle, how
Marco for that title?
Marco, right?
Actually, Matt Riddle's going to be here at a con not too long from now.
He's going to be selling his Matt Riddle premium
pre-rolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
His gummies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you.
Our next story, moving right along here. Oh, it didn't pick up. Oh well. Alexa Bliss made news this week.
Yep.
Alexa Bliss' return to WWE has been in a bit of a holding pattern. PW Insider is reporting that recent plans for Bliss to return to WWE TV were put on hold indefinitely. WWE was putting together creative plans for Bliss for her return, including new merchandise and promotional material for the former WWE Women's Champion. Bliss was reportedly going to be part of the Wyatt 6 storyline and was penciled in to return last week's episode of Monday Night Raw. However, during that show, it was noted that the Wyatt 6 had been moved to Smackdown, and the belief is that Bliss won't be appearing alongside the faction. The report stated that the reason for the change is not a health issue. Multiple WWE sources claim to not know why the decision was made or what's going on with Alexa Bliss. One person did say they were under the impression that the plans for Bliss were scrapped due to a contract issue that has yet to be confirmed. Bliss's current contract status for length in WWE is unknown at this time. She last appeared in WWE at the 2023 Royal Rumble and later took time off due to her pregnancy. She gave birth to a baby girl in November 2023 and has dealt with skin cancer, preeclampsia, and other health issues.
Jesus.
So,
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard that Bo Dallas is out of the Wyatt 6. They were talking about Bo Dallas not being part of the. Look, they kind of.
You have the Wyatt 6 without Uncle Howdy himself.
They dropped. I know they dropped the ball on that faction. They did such a great job with all the other codes and the friggin' the down the rabbit hole, all these things, and all the different messages. And their premiere was great when they freaking kicked everybody's ass in the locker room, killed everybody. They should have been a faction that went out and just total destruction on whoever they set their sights on, and and Alexa Bliss is, like I said, Alexa Bliss, she probably didn't want to go to SmackDown. She probably wanted to be on Raw, and they probably had a disagreement, the whole thing that she wants to be on Raw. They want to ship it there to SmackDown, and she's like, nah. She's like, I want to be on the flag state, and by every right, she should be, And I just hate the fact they disrupted that whole storyline with the Final Testament and the Wyatt 6. I know the Final Testament's boring, but the whole fact is that I like those big factions going after each other. And Karrion Kross is playing such a great devil friggin' playing the evil person, the persona. And now, like I said, his backstage presence is really great. His stand downs, like his laughing, like behind Seth last week. That whole thing. But the Wyatt Six moving really, that tells you that the investors probably weren't feeling the Wyatt Six, and they're like, tell Triple H, you know what, let's put them over there in SmackDown and say, and then the whole Alexa Bliss thing. She, like I said, probably didn't want to go to SmackDown, and that's why they probably talking to her to try to figure out new creative plans.
Potentially.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully she gets whatever figured out and she comes back next week in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
All right, that's going to take us right into our review of the shows this week. We're going to start with SmackDown, and I want to start with, well, none other than Jacob Fatu. Let's talk about his scathing promo that he cut on SmackDown. There was no "I love you" Solo.
Nope.
There was no "we." There was a lot of "I." Which brings the question, is 2025 the year Jacob Fatu becomes a wrestling superstar? He's already a wrestling superstar in the indies, but is it time for him to come mainstream and be the next big thing in WWE? And is 2025 the year that he does this?
Yes.
I would say so.
Look, the Bloodline storyline is just about done. It's just about done.
What's up, Bruce?
Bruce, what's going on? I think that the whole Bloodline story is, everybody go their separate ways and do what they got to do. The whole "I love you" Solo holding him back. Now Solo is going to be doing his own thing, and you have Jacob Fatu doing his own thing. And look, he's going to be fighting freaking goddamn Braun Strowman at a Saturday Night Main Event. That's like two monsters right there, which is great. That's going to fight. And you're going to see Jacob Fatu jumping off freaking things. Hey, look, you always get nervous when people do these high flying things, and he's a nut job, Jacob Fatu. He don't give a shit what he does. Right. He'll abuse his body doing things. But yeah, I think he's gonna. They definitely have to bring him, go after like fighting people now. The hell with this freaking "I love you" Solo shit. That was then. This is now.
Yeah, if you didn't see SmackDown, Solo Sikoa enters to join Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu in the ring. He's given a microphone. After some time, Sikoa says nothing and walks out. Jacob Fatu picks up the mic and says that they're tired of the disrespect and the hate. Even on his worst day, they still can't touch him. They don't give a damn if they cheer or boo them. And the one thing he will not let him do is to act like he didn't get his. The crazy thing about this situation is he's just getting started. There's no "we're just getting started." Pick those words. As Paul Heyman says, when you see something on TV, especially when it comes to the Bloodline, it's on purpose.
Right.
Yep.
He's just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to run roughshod over WWE the rest of the year. I don't think there's going to be any more of this Bloodline this, Bloodline that. And I don't think, I'm being more and more convinced that we're not going to see The Rock at WrestleMania this year.
No.
I think we're going to get a Jacob. So it seems like all roads are leading to Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Or Jacob Fatu versus Solo.
Or Jacob Fatu versus Solo. I could see a storyline where Jacob and Tama Tonga kick Solo to the curb and be like, remember, winning is all that matters. You lost.
Yeah.
You're out. You tried to take over Roman Reigns, and I could see Jacob Fatu going, I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to take out Roman Reigns, and I'm going to become the head of the table.
Yep.
But this is great for a superstar like Jacob Fatu. I hope they give him more opponents that he can just go full, all gas, no break with. I would love to see him in a match with John Cena. I would love to see him in a match, of course, with Roman Reigns. See him more one-on-one matches than just being used as an enforcer. The man is a talent. He is a pure gold standard talent. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we get him, and when he's going up against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, who shows up to screw him but Zillow Fatu?
Or like I said, it can go either way. Solo can come back and become good. Look, this storyline is crazy because you you have different toss and different turns. There's a lot of crazes that can happen. Freaking Zilla. Zilla can come out of nowhere. Whatever happened? What's the other guy, the 7-foot guy that they signed? This guy's son. That they signed. He's a 7-footer. That he was supposed to come out. He never did. From the bloodline.
I don't remember his name.
But yeah, there's still members that got to come up. And look, remember Zilla fought with Jacob Fatu in the Indies too.
Yeah.
So they have a history with each other, and Jacob Fatu is a nut job.
Yeah.
He's an unchained beast, man. He's like bad guys, good guys, everything in between. You don't care, And
I think Fatu is going to start getting some play. I think he'll win on Saturday against Strowman.
Oh, he's going to win. If Strowman is definitely going to lose.
Is it Lance Anoa'i?
Is it? Yeah, he's how tall is he? Like 7'1"? Was he 6? How big is he?
I don't know how tall he is, but he was in MLW.
Well, it's a guy they signed. This tall guy that's like over 6 feet. They signed them. And he's part of the time.
Or are you talking about Hikuleo?
It might be Hikuleo. I think it's him. But there's a lot of members in that family that can still come up. And look, I see Jacob Fatu as a champion, intercontinental, U.S. champion. Down the road, maybe even one of the main champions, but more right now, U.S. champion or intercontinental championship. I can see him.
I'll go out on a limb and say he'll be intercontinental champion by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, listen, I want to see that fight between him and Ron Breaker. That fight with Ron Breaker, but when they freaking had that stare off that time, I want to see that. I want to see freaking him against freaking goddamn mommy. I want to see him fight.
You want to see him fight Rhea Ripley?
Rhea Ripley for bloody Rhea Ripley versus fucking Jacob Fatu. I want to see those matches where you get these. Just who knows, man? It can turn out to be fun, but he definitely has. He's champion, some kind of champion by the end of the year, easily.
So with SmackDown this week, we had a few matches. We had about 6 matches. The first match of the night was Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. We saw the winners of that match being Belair and Naomi. Backstage, Chelsea Green gloated in front of Michin about defending her U.S. title. B-Fab steps up and challenges Piper Niven to a match. Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. Again, like we said, Carmelo Hayes, which ended in no contest after Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu interfered.
Yep.
Which is when we got that promo.
Yep.
We had the Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza with Elektra Lopez.
It's a good match.
Saw Motor City Machine Guns going over in that match.
Yeah, Elektra Lopez, you got to follow on Instagram. That's another one, man. I tell you, some of these girls, man, it's like it's crazy. That's why I can't wait for Jada Parker to come to friggin' the main roster, man. Love that girl. Anyway,
match 4 of the night saw B-Fab versus Piper Niven with Chelsea Green. Ended in no contest after Chelsea Green's interference, which followed Michin attacking Piper Niven with a kendo stick. Before the next match, former WWE superstar Victoria is spotted in the crowd.
And look, I can tell you, B-Fab, eventually she's going to get her just desserts. She's a pretty good wrestler.
I mean, she's the only one that's still there out of that group.
I know.
Yeah.
Top Dollah's gone.
Dollah's gone. What's his name?
Strickland.
Strickland was
Swerve
supposed
Strickland.
yeah.
AEW.
Yeah, AEW. Remember when he had the promo with what's his face? They would try to make a tag team on WWE. They had like some kind of promos, and it never happened. Drawing a blank. But anyway, she's no longer. Where's the Street Profits? The Street Profits haven't been on TV. So,
yeah, and it's interesting that B-Fab was linked to them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Match 5 of the night, we saw Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens, with the winner of that being Kevin Owens, as Kevin Owens looks to take out Mysterio with a power bomb, but Cody Rhodes makes the save, and Owens makes his way through the crowd.
Yeah.
So backstage, because they refuse to sign the amendments on the contract, Nick Aldis tells Cody Rhodes that his contract signing on Saturday night's main event will be overseen by the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Just throwing shit together for Saturday main event, which we're going to talk about at our last segment of the night, is give our predictions about Saturday night's main event. But we're just throwing together stuff for Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. You know what? Look, the crazy thing is that this is where Cody's going to win. Definitely Cody's going to win, because I'm still the faction between Kevin Owens, McIntyre, and Seth is in the works. That's going to stay on Raw, because there's no more bloodline now. Well, there's the bloodline is like all dismantled, but you're going to have these guys go after everybody that did them wrong with the bloodline, which is eventually should and hopefully happen. But Cody Rhodes.
Go ahead, Don.
I'm sorry. Cody Rhodes, to me, ever since he finished his story, he hasn't been that, like, I want to see him type of a wrestler. He's like, when he comes out, okay, Cody Rhodes is great, this and that, but just momentum is not there anymore.
Still one of my favorites doing it right now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, he's a hell of a dude in a person. I have a friend of mine who met him a couple times because he has a whiskey type of thing, like vodka.
Yeah, a gin.
Yeah, so he met him a few times.
Saw a segment where DIY tells Pretty Deadly that they failed to stop Motor City Machine Guns. Ciampa shows them some tough love by saying if they ever want to get close to these tag team titles, they better get their acts together and become men. Johnny Gargano believes in them. After DIY walks away, Apollo Crews tries to chime in with some hard truth to Pretty Deadly, but Gargano returns to take him out with a brutal assault. Before the main event, a vignette airs to show the return of Charlotte Flair. Will soon be upon us. Who cares? I think, listen, when Charlotte Flair comes back, they're just going to give her another title. So I think this division has been great without Charlotte Flair. I don't care that they're bringing her back. And it almost seems like they're trying to do that same persona that they tried to push on Carmella, and they tried to push on, what was her name? The Australian girl that they brought back and then let go again.
Oh, the one that was, I know who you're talking about.
Emma. She was known as Emma.
Emma. Yeah.
And then she's on AEW now.
Came back as someone else.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she's on AEW now.
Just a vignette of Charlotte Flair being all glammed up.
Yep.
Which led us to our sixth and final match of the night, a WWE Women's Championship match, which saw Tiffany Stratton taking on Bayley, and Stratton retains the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bayley's getting a lot of love recently.
Yeah.
She's showing up on NXT. She's fighting for the title on Smackdown. She gets announced that she's transfer portaled to Raw.
I'll tell you what, man.
Transfer portaled to Smackdown in her place. Who knows? But
freaking Roxanne Perez, went after her, and that security guard got a nice handful of booty.
Yes, he did.
He grabbed that. He's like, that was all the contract right there. Yeah, Bayley, she's good, but like I said, there's only so much championships that she can win, and she'll probably win a championship down the road again. Now that they have the the Intercontinental and the USA championships for women now, so there's more opportunities for her to win some kind of a title down the road. If not the women's heavyweight championship, and
right, because she's what I would call, I guess, a legacy employee. She's been there for a while. She's able to help out and move the newer girls along. So
she definitely NXT can use the likes of like her down there to help the women down there, the up and coming women. you know,
Yeah.
like have that. And like I said, like I know you don't want Roxanne Perez to come on the main roster. She still needs mic work, but I think after her appearances, I think she's all but certified to be in the Royal Rumble for the women and be part of and go after Bayley. And that's going to be her first big thing. So we'll see what happens. You know, like I said, and Tiffany Stratton. No one's touching Tiffany Stratton anytime soon. And you heard about the new contract thing. You can't have a rematch for your championship belt off the bat. You have to go through the circuit to go back again. So
it's been a thing for supposedly been a thing for months, but
I know, and they just talked about it now that they can't do it. So that's why Nia Jax is going after freaking Rhea Ripley, and because she didn't go after Tiffany, she hasn't gone after Tiffany, which is kind of crazy because that means she starts the feud with Rhea Ripley. She's not going to start a feud with Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany Stratton is on SmackDown at the moment. So I think Nia Jax comes to Raw. Actually goes to stays in SmackDown because I think Rhea Ripley is going to SmackDown, and then Tiffany Stratton comes to Raw. That's what I think is going to be down the road.
We'll see. We're going to do a quick run through of TNA Genesis.
Yes,
that was live on the 19th from Dallas, Texas. During the pre-show, Ariana Grace came out to try to take full credit for the TNA NXT partnership. She was interrupted by Shanti the Adonis, who said that she looks great only tonight, so she ran off. Adonis then issued an open challenge, which was answered by Jake Something, who defeated Adonis by pinfall. Frankie Kazarian defeated Leon Slater by pinfall. And then we had a singles match for the TNA X Division Championship. Moose, the champion, defeated Ace Austin by pinfall.
Yep.
Then you had a tag team match. Eric Young and Steve McLean defeated the System by pinfall. And then a tag team match for the TNA Knockout World Championship. Spitfire and defeated Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance by pinfall. Mm-hmm. That was all pre-show. Yeah. We had our singles matches of the night. We had a singles match between Tessa Blanchard defeated Jordynne Grace by pinfall, sending Jordynne Grace off to WWE, which I'm assuming she is going to make an appearance in the Royal Rumble and is probably set to be Rhea Ripley's next big challenge.
Yep.
Me.
Hello,
hey,
Christina.
How are you?
That leads us to we had a singles match between Mike Santa defeated Josh Alexander by pinfall. We had a tag team match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, defeated the Rascals by pinfall. Will we see the Hardys come back in the Royal Rumble this year?
Maybe.
When they came back that one time, that place blew up.
Yes, it did. Then we had a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match for the TNA Knockout World Championship.
What? Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. Misha Slamovich defeated Rosemary by pinfall. And then we saw the match of the night. The match that we were talking about. The match that every wrestling fan went wild for. The singles match for the TNA World Champion. Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry defeats Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Namath, by pinfall to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Awesome. That was cool. Hey, well deserved. He deserved the championship. He came back. It's kind of funny how he was a WWE talent at one time. He was the priest that talked to Rusev and Lana. He came out a long time ago.
Yep.
He had black hair, which is kind of funny, but he really made a name himself. And well deserved. Hey, look, and Dolph Ziggler, Joe Namath, he definitely
Nick Namath, not Joe Namath. Joe Namath was the quarterback for the Jets.
I'm sorry, Nick Namath. You got to applaud him too. He won. But he held his own there too. Like I said, I'm glad, TNA actually gives a lot more opportunity, to talent that doesn't make it that much on Raw. That's what I'm trying to say. The partnership between TNA is going to open the door for a lot of people to get, like Austin Theory should go on this, and because they're not using him anywhere. Appearances in the background, jobber.
Yeah.
So I think if you don't think Joe Hendry is popping up in the Royal Rumble and he's going to have a big spot and get some eliminations,
He
crazy.
And Nick are both going to be on the Jericho Cruise the same day as Royal Rumble.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So I am not sure if that's going to be, that could be hey, if they could be in two places at one time, that's awesome. But it kind of sucks. The Jericho Cruise. So, unless the Jericho Cruise pulls up next to where the Royal Rumble is going to be,
they'll just helicopter him out of the Jericho Cruise to the Royal Rumble, and
you can do that.
Or they pull out of the Jericho Cruise, and whatever. But I think WWE has to have him in the Rumble some way, shape, or form. But we'll see.
Well, you know what's funny? The whole thing is that cruise is actually sponsored by AEW. So since the WWE is partners with TNA, that could be a possibility that they pull out.
No pullouts here.
No pullouts, exactly.
All right. Up next, we have Monday Night Raw. Actually, so what did you guys? Let's backtrack a little bit. What did you guys give Friday Night SmackDown? What do you think of SmackDown?
I give it a good B, a good solid B. Like, even a bad show on SmackDown is still entertaining. So, like a B, a nice shiny B.
Yeah, I'll give it a just a B. I think it had enough in it to make it a good grade, but it's not going to go into the A's.
Yeah, I agree. B's solid.
Yep.
Oops. So let's talk a little Monday Night Raw. We are not match one of the night. We saw Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, with Rey Mysterio picking up the W. Xavier Woods returned after being kicked out by the referee to blindside Mysterio. The rest of the LWO rushed to save Rey. The New Day retreated. A few short moments later, the New Day returned to get cheap shots. American Made are motivated to chase gold. Chad Gable has got some advice from Dominic Mysterio about handling luchadors. Let's see how this goes for him, huh?
The whole thing with
who do you think Dominic Mysterio gave him about handling luchadors?
I don't know.
I was trying to figure that out myself. I don't know.
Well, what's his name? Well, there's another. There's rumors of what's the other luchador that's coming in? There's somebody else coming in that is possibly coming to WWE.
There was a guy that they had signed.
Yes.
He had fought with Penta before. In the Lucha Libre, but I don't remember his name. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, it was just recently they posted that.
And it was just recent that they.
Yeah, it was WWE bound. So could be. I got to find out the name of that person who they just signed. But yeah, I think that. Look, me personally, I'm telling you, Dominic is gonna. I think Dominic is gonna definitely fight Penta. That's gonna happen. That's gonna be a fight before Penta fights Rey Mysterio. Dominic is definitely going to be a jobber to that, fighting Penta. That match with Penta and Butch was awesome, though. It was a good job too. But like I said, there's more. And look, Dragon Lee is going to wind up coming in the fold more. Just I don't know. I don't know who. Maybe he's telling he could be. Maybe he's telling Chad, I'm the one that can take care of him. Maybe Dominic will come out with a freaking a mask and try
What
to
if
do
it's
something.
Juan Cena? What if the
Juan
luchador that's going to
Yeah.
take care of him is Juan Cena?
Yeah, it's Juan Cena.
That'd be something.
We had a set backstage segment with Sami Zayn as he headed to the ring. He talked with Adam Pearce and has officially entered the Royal Rumble match. Maybe it's time he helped himself. What does he want? He started thinking about 14-year-old him, the young people wanting to become pro wrestlers. A small lucky group get to become WWE superstars, and then the tiniest group of them from those make it to the very top. Sami believes he is as good as all the other guys. The only difference between them and him is that they have won world championships to their name, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's had a great life and career. He doesn't need a world championship as he appreciates the support from all the fans more than anything, but damn it, he wants it, and he's going to take it. And Kevin Owens enters. Enter Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens hits a very good promo, I thought.
Yep.
Very interesting compared to what he's going through on SmackDown. Sami Zayn said he knew it was only a matter of time until they cross paths. How do they want to do this? Sami assumes he's in there to get his help, or he's in there to get his from helping out Roman Reigns. KO admits he was pretty upset, but it's not like when Cody teamed with Roman. Sami and Roman had a lot of history. Both Roman and Kevin did things to Sami that he forgave them for because that's who he is. He's a good person. He does a lot for his friends, and Sami is his best friend. Kevin wholeheartedly believes he can win the Royal Rumble because he deserves it. And then you know what they did? They main event WrestleMania and won the tag team titles. But one thing they have never done is main event WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. When he wins the Royal Rumble, they will get to do that if Kevin Owens walks out of Royal Rumble WWE Champion. Owens tells Zayn that he has his back, just like Zayn will have his back against Cody. But if Kevin needs him, he knows Sami will be there. KO leaves the ring without saying anything else.
Yeah, that's going to build up to another. And how many times do we see them go at it with each other, man?
Lots, and it's always good.
Lots of times. You know, one's good, one's bad, one's bad, one's good. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know what? I would love to see Sami just be on the same page, like really be on the same page with Kevin, and just they won the tag team titles and that, but both be bad at the same time. Because I don't think they were bad at the same time. Because one was always good, one was always bad, one always turned each other back and forth. So, but I see another war between Sami and KO in the future, going back and forth. Hey, it would be kind of cool to see him headline WrestleMania. That could still happen, you know. Yeah,
good. Bruce says, "Who do you think wins the Royal Rumble? Any predictions?" Well, you'll have to tune in next week to our Royal Rumble prediction show,
Yep.
Bruce.
Yep.
You could even be on it if you want.
Come on, come aboard.
All right. Go ahead, Dom.
I was trying to think of something. I was trying to think of the fact. I do like like I said, the segment in the back when you walk in the back and the players that are in the back, like Karrion Kross in the back watching Seth Rollins walk, and you just like stalking people. I like that he's just playing both sides of the corner, like each like good or bad. I just like that, you know. And there's your supernatural right there. That him and Scarlett are playing that supernatural thing. Like I always thought that they should be the Harley Quinn and Joker of the WWE or Natural Born Killers. That would be a perfect for their personas, you know, because the way they are, the way they act, they're both freaking crazy, and you know they're both nuts. And I want to see him fight more. But back to the Sami thing, real quick. I still see Sami fighting KO. You know, that championship that KO has, it reminds me of The Rock grabbing the Intercontinental Championship, becoming the People's Champ back in the Attitude Era. When Stone Cold threw that shit in the river, and he picked it up the next week, and I'm the People's Champ. That's what I see KO doing, the whole segment with the Eagle Championship belt.
The Wing Eagle Championship, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we saw Nia Jax versus Bayley. Nia Jax picking up the win. A hurt Rhea Ripley entered and goes after Nia Jax. Security and producers rush to split them up. but have a tough time doing so. After the fight calms down, Rhea Ripley grabs a microphone and challenges Nia Jax to a match at Saturday Night Main Event. Our next match, we had a backstage segment where we were talking about earlier where Chad Gable goes to Dominic Mysterio for help, and Gable says he's going to learn the dark arts of Lucha Libre. Good on Gable. Funny?
But the dark arts is actually owned by freaking Malachi Black and his wife. So basically, is that opening the door for Malachi Black coming back? You know what I'm saying? Because they do own that company, if I'm not mistaken. What he said. So it could be interesting. You know,
it could.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
That leads us to match 3 of the night. We saw Penta versus Pete Dunne. What a good match by Penta.
That was a good match.
Again.
That was a great match.
We got to see Penta. He went up against Pete Dunne, who can go, who's the bruiserweight, who can take a little bit more punishment. And you got to see a little bit more of Penta's skills on display. So I thought this was a much better match than we saw on his debut. Even though his debut was still fantastic, I thought that this match was a step above that. And I think we're just going to, as Penta gets his feet wet in this new style and used to the WWE way of doing things, I think we're only going to see his star and skills go up and up and up.
Yep. You know, it was a much faster paced match. Now Pete Dunne, you got to give that guy credit. You know, he's really good. You know, it's a shame that he is not getting the play anymore like he used to.
I like Pete. Yeah. He needs more time.
Yeah. So I look at the fact that it sucks because I know his tag team partner. What was his name? He's hurt.
They said he's coming back though. I think he should be coming back soon.
Well, if he comes back, I don't see them pairing again. I see them going after each other. So that might give Butch, Pete Dunne more.
I don't know because they had a good stint as a tag team, and I think they might try to pick that back up.
I don't know
because they haven't been using Pete in anything really, except
backstage
here and there.
Backstage comic attire with friggin' So like I don't know, like some of these wrestlers, you think about it. TNA is definitely, they need some wrestlers on there. Some of the guys, you want to bring them down to NXT, but I think bringing somebody down to NXT is demoting somebody. Like Corey Graves complains that he's down in NXT. But if you bring Pete Dunne to like the TNA stage, where it's a little higher level than NXT, they have some great wrestlers there, and it's a little bit more, it gets prime time television time. You can loan wrestlers to them, and
I could see him sliding into TNA. I think that's not a bad position to put him in.
So we'll see.
I just hope that they're not bringing I just hope that the number Dominic gave him isn't like Santos Escobar or any of the other Los Gazas or whatever they're called. I want to see somebody new coming for that, but what are you going to do? But I love the Penta match. I thought it was a great match. I'm glad to finally see Penta getting a little bit more shine as he gets his feet wet.
Yeah, I think he was much more at ease too, because like I said, Pete Dunne does give him a good challenge. His quickness and the way he is in the ring. So next week we'll see who he fights next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see if he comes to the Royal Rumble, and should be interesting. Then we saw Punk giving his promo, his scathing promo, which we talked about at the top of the show. Mm-hmm. Then we saw Damage Control's Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus PFC's Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark with Sonya Deville. Look, this faction stinks. The PFC faction stinks.
It does.
Shayna Baszler was fantastic in NXT. I don't know why they got her away from the Queen of Spades gimmick. I don't know why she's struggling so much on the main roster. They need to take her back, get her away from Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, or not Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville. This faction is just not a fan of this faction at all.
I've never been a fan of Sonya Deville, so
they tried something, it's not working. Split them up, let them go on their own, do their things. Friggin' Stark, she's a great talent, but she's been ever since she fought Trish and came in fighting Trish and she teamed up with Trish. She's not the same person. Like her talent is being wasted. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. The TNA brand can benefit a lot of these other wrestlers.
She's always kind of been a floater. She's never really found a permanent place within WWE. She's just kind of been here and there and everywhere. So,
yep.
Then we saw our main event of Raw, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. The winner was Seth Rollins in a instant classic of a match.
Yep.
After the match, Drew McIntyre attacked Rollins. Sami Zayn attempted to make the save, but accidentally kicked Rollins in the face. All McIntyre can do is smile as he walks away. Zayn assured Rollins it was an accident. They did have an after the show, showing off the air segment where Zayn was apologizing to Rollins, saying it was an accident, and Seth basically told him to get his shit together and be more careful.
Yep. It tells you, man. Seth is turning. Seth is eventually gonna go off the wire. I can see freaking Monday Night Messiah, Persona coming back or something.
Overall, my opinion, it was a good Monday Night Raw. Another good showing for Netflix. It's interesting that we're only getting 2.5-hour Raws, but it's very much living up to the Triple H Triple H saying Raws could be 2.5 hours, could be 3 hours. It's just going to depend on how much time we need to tell our story.
Yep, that's great. Great.
Yeah,
it's been a super exciting couple of weeks on Raw. I've been the most excited I've ever been to watch Raw. I think they're doing a good job all around as far as the Netflix stuff goes.
And commercials. Freaking the UK people get the commercial free. Damn it.
I hear my buddy who pays for Netflix Premium says that when we get commercials, they get like backstage segments or special segments, kind of like Peacock Premium people do during the premium live events.
Really?
So I don't know if anybody in the chat who's paying for Netflix Premium can confirm or deny that, but I know I pay for the ad tier, so I get ads.
Yeah, I pay for it. Always see the freaking Super Bowl, the football Snicker commercials.
Yep.
Who's the chefs?
Oh yeah, great googling today.
Yes, what'd you give Raw?
I'm gonna give Raw a solid. I think Raw's a B+. Raw's a B+ player.
Yeah,
about the same.
I'll actually give it. I'll probably give it because I don't think the length has shot it down at all. I think the length has been good, like you said. B+, struggling into an A-, really.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair assessment, Sticks.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
That leads us into NXT on Tuesday night, where we had a whole bunch of stuff going on in NXT. We saw the NXT North American Championship match between Tony D'Angelo retaining over Ridge Holland by pinfall with some help.
All right.
We had a little backstage interaction between Wes Lee and Tyson DuPont in the locker room. Lee said there was a difference between himself and someone who has a lot of potential, like Lennox. Trick Williams came by, and Lee gloated about Trick not having the NXT Championship anymore. So Trick slapped him.
Shit out of him. That was the play of the night. And that slap knocked him into next Wednesday. That was funny.
Which I like Wesley a lot. I would like to see Wesley get a little bit more shine. Let me see Wesley hold a title again.
Yep.
Let's go. Then we had a promo from Bayley where she spoke about her love for NXT and the feud going on right now with Roxanne Perez. Juliana came out and they started to talk about the respect for the NXT Women's Championship when they were interrupted by Perez and Cora Jade, who claims to have been holding the NXT together since day one. The two sides started to fight, and cameras cut to the women's locker room where Jada Parker was excited about Bayley saying her name. Womp, womp, womp.
Well, I'll tell you what. Listen, I can see in the future a tag team, Julia and Bayley versus Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. I can see that in the future. You know, maybe next week in Atlanta. You know, who knows? That could be. But honestly say, you know, like I said, the division, that women's division there is top of the notch. I love that division. You know, and I'll say it again. Jada Parker. God bless her soul. And look, and I love Julia and I love Stephanie. Those two girls. If you're not watching NXT, you're missing hell of excitement.
If you're not watching NXT, then where are you at?
Exactly, where you at? It is the truth.
Later in the night, we saw Wesley defeat Dion Lennox by pinfall. Lee then called out Trick Williams, who went to the ring, laid out Lee, and said if he wants a match with him next week in Atlanta, he's got it. Trick bumped into Lennox on the way back to the ramp. Stephanie spoke to Sarah Schreiber about Shotzi beating her last week. Vesker isn't going to stop going after the NXT Women's North American Championship. However, whoever ends up being champion between them, she's going after them.
Mm-hmm.
The NXT Heritage Cup match, Lexis King retains over Charlie Dempsey.
That's your
King
boy.
Low blow Dempsey at the end of the match to set up the finisher to get the win, or to get the winning point.
Your boy keeps winning.
I know. I like me some Lexis King, man.
Yeah, you know what? NXT, it's been exciting. You know, like I watch it. You know, I catch it here and then. I do a lot of replays on it too. But the fact is that it's been fun. Like I said, you know, watching it, it's a great Tuesday night sit back and chill type of a thing. You watch it, and it's entertaining. You know, and like I said, you know, Shawn Michaels has a good product there. You know, doing what he's doing, and you know, Corey Graves was
he stopped whining and showed up
exactly.
for work.
Exactly. I got a prediction. With Corey Graves. Royal Rumble. Friggin' what's his face? Damn, why do I always draw a blank? McAfee.
Oh,
McAfee Royal Rumble is thrown out by a masked man, and it's Corey Graves.
Jeez.
Start the match between Corey Graves and friggin' McAfee. Royal Rumble.
Then we saw Carmen defeated by Jada Parker by pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she didn't lose 1, 2, 3. She lost because of this girl came out. And it sucks. Jada Parker's getting no love, man. She keeps losing. Because people keep interfering.
Yeah, but we saw Brooke Jensen and Nico Vance defeat Dax, Lorenzo, and Luca. How I don't even.
Chitori,
something like that. Yeah, Crucifino by pinfall, something like that. Sarah Schreiber interviewed some backstage. My back hurts. My notes are all messed up now. What else? We had an NXT Championship match. Obafemi defeated Eddie Thrope by pinfall. After the match, Trick Williams came out for a stare down with Femi and ended up hitting Thrope with a trick shot after Thrope was about to hit him.
Well, Femi's good, man. He's a dominating dude, man. Like I said, he'll be champion for a while. I don't see Trick winning the belt. back again anytime soon if he does win. If that's like if they don't bring him to the main roster, which would be a mistake, But I see. My thing is that you win the belt. If you win the belt one time and you're a face, and you win the belt again and you're a heel, and then you do your little thing, that's when you get called up. Roxanne Perez was a face at one time. She won the belt, and she won it as a heel. So that's why I see her coming up. It all depends. It all depends on if you're ready. And I know some of the mic work has to be done, but sometimes the WWE doesn't. The mic work is important, but not everybody can have that premium mic work.
They also have to have the opportunity. I mean, if you're not giving them the opportunity, they can't progress any further than where they're at.
Exactly. Yep.
Which leads us into AEW. I was asked via Instagram to review AEW this week, and it pained me to sit there and watch AEW.
I actually watched it this week. It's been a while since I've watched it.
AEW, we saw Tag Team Champions Private Party versus Hurt Syndicate, aka Hurt Business. The winners were the Hurt Syndicate becoming the new champions.
Yep.
I thought it was a good match.
Listen, AEW has officially become nothing more than the place where casted off WWE talent goes to die. The fact that we have
that way for a while now.
The Hurt Business doing the same exact shtick in AEW they were doing in WWE, just under a different second part of the name, Syndicate instead of Business.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't get off as it in WWE, because by the time they were going to start with it, they axed them and they sent them out. So, I mean, that's picking up where they left off from WWE. Sure, yeah.
Match 2 of the night saw AR Fox versus Swerve Strickland, and with Swerve Strickland picking up the victory.
I couldn't understand that match. It's such a lopsided match, in my opinion, but it went longer than I think it should.
Yeah,
but I think they're friends, or I think they're friends, but from what I could understand, because at the end of the match, Swerve helps Fox. So
AEW is trying to capitalize on the My Final Year of Wrestling shtick that John Cena and WWE is doing with Jeff Jarrett. A match was about to take place, but MJF enters to tell the enhancement talent to get out of the ring. He addresses Jeff Jarrett. If anyone deserves an apology, it's him. When he offers to help him win the world title, it was just because he would be the easiest to manipulate and defeat. If Jarrett thinks he can win the title in 2025, he is as senile as he looks. If he isn't by the time this is all done with him, then he will end it. MJF is going to tell him the truth. Professional wrestling doesn't love him anymore. These fans don't love him anymore. It doesn't matter what they think. Sometimes it is better to make a deal with the devil than to defy him. Hangman Page makes his entrance. He enters the ring and tells MJF to get out, which led to a match between Hangman Adam Page and Tyler Shoop.
Yeah, whoever.
With Hangman Adam Page going over.
Yeah.
Seat filler.
Not to be outdone, Christopher Daniels enters the ring with a neck brace and tells Hangman Adam Page that he won't be able to wrestle anymore, and he hopes Page can live with that. Goodbye.
Yeah, that was a good spot. I thought Daniels coming out, you can see Page kind of think about what he said and maybe feel bad for Daniels. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Then we saw a match between Julia Hart and Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter is what I've started referring to as Becky Lynch light, because she's dyed her hair that orange, and a lot of people thought she was Becky Lynch when she came back. So she's kind of got that Becky Lynch light vibe going.
Yeah, she does.
Yep.
Julia Hart says that she was no longer... Her and the House of Black will no longer be a thing. The House of Black no longer has a voice leading the way. They will step out of the shadows and deliver violence with no leader. They bark together.
Yep.
Boo.
Yeah.
And then our final match of the night, we saw Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, a.k.a. Cope, a.k.a. whatever he wants to be called this week, versus Pac, which is Pac is another one I would love to see come back into the WWE.
Because he could hang it with the luchadors.
Yes, he could.
Because he's that type. Yeah.
And he used to tag team with Penta.
Yep.
And Death Triangle.
Yep.
The Death Riders appear on the Tron. They have taken out the Rock and Roll Express and tied up FTR with no allies to help Copeland. The Death Riders head to the ring. As they beat up on Copeland, Jay White enters to make the save, but the numbers game is overwhelming. The show ends with the Death Riders standing tall. I don't know how AEW has no idea what to do with that Death Riders faction.
No,
they really don't.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Look, it's Tony Khan making these. Look, as much as I don't want to say it, it's like having a Star Wars fan creating Star Wars the way he likes it, and him doing things. I know. And listen, like Tony Khan is playing with action figures and sitting out. Oh, I like this. I'm going to change this around, make this happen. He likes that back and forth thing. His own he wants to play with his characters. So
I'm gonna get Spider-Man. No, you're not gonna get Spider-Man.
And it's like it sucks that you have good talent on AEW.
They have some good talent. Yeah,
they have great talent.
They do.
Okada, Ospreay, Jay White, Darby Allin.
Yeah, I know.
MJF.
I know. It goes on, and they have a mixture of old veterans in there too to help with the younger guys, which. It's a shame that they're at the point where they are. There's only so much that a wrestling outfit can hold up if they're not putting the numbers up. If the numbers aren't there, there's only so much that can be done.
Yeah, but I remember, and I'm sure you guys do too. When they first came on the scene, back in my day, when they first came on the scene, and it was just independent wrestlers, and the biggest name they had was John Moxley, and everyone was
Jericho first.
Jericho. I mean, Jericho, was in there, but I mean, as far as
the company, the Young Bucks,
mass of the company was all independent guys.
I know.
Well, yeah,
everyone who watched wrestling was so excited for them because it was going to be like this mainstream independent type of show. Then they started sprinkling in the ex-WWE guys when COVID happened, and then there were a lot of people let go. It didn't go the way it should have gone. I still don't think it's right.
I mean, you had great pillars, Sammy Guevara, like I said, MJF. Then you like you said, added WWE guys. You added Adam,
Rusev.
Rusev, Miro.
Right.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. Thank you.
You had a lot of guys, and you have a lot of good women in there too. You have Sasha Banks.
She's dude. I don't know what happened to her. She is not
4 belts.
Her CEO shtick is not as good as the boss.
No, I know.
Her feuds are nowhere near her feuds with Bayley.
Yep.
Nope.
You have her. You had Paige coming back. You had, who else? Adam Cole. You basically had all of that faction come over. So I don't know. I loved AEW for what it was in the beginning because it was an alternative to WWE. It was an alternative to the same old stuff in a very stale WWE. It was exciting at first. We had exciting matches. It's people that you only heard about on the independent scene or saw in videos like Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara and that stuff. But it just like we said, it became oversaturated with ex WWE talent that WWE no longer wanted anymore. Like Matt Hardy, Jesus Christ, that dude can barely walk. Why is he still wrestling?
Yeah, right.
You know, he can't bend his legs, save his life. Don't know why he's still wrestling. But AEW had the potential. MJF, I feel like, is being wasted in AEW. MJF is pretty much all AEW has.
Yep.
Kenny Omega can't stay healthy. The Young Bucks are just making titles to give themselves. So it's just and Tony Khan can't get out of his own way. You know, Tony Khan thought that he was going to be a genius by putting out the tape of the CM Punk and Jack Perry backstage issues, and that kind of blew up in his face.
Yep.
So, and I like Jack Perry. I liked him better when he was Jungle Boy, but what are you going to do? AEW is starting to feel. Yes, hello, Mama Bear. AEW is starting to stink like remnants of WCW.
Yeah, but at least WCW had substance to it.
Yeah, there's no stories in AEW whatsoever.
Yeah,
because they don't have coherent stories because they don't have writers. They can't handle anybody. So it is what it is.
It's like, why is this guy fighting this guy? Oh, they just met in the back. He smacked him, and that was it. And now, big pay-per-view, the fight, like there's nothing leading up to it.
Yeah.
Like John Moxley came out with the Death Riders faction. He said when he became AEW World Champion, he's taking over AEW. He now owns AEW. He calls shots in AEW, and that has not led to anything.
Nope.
Zero. So, and AEW seems to be alienating the people that they started with, like Ricky Starks, Britt Baker, Ray Phoenix. Like, why are you alienating all of these good groups? There's a reason why these guys are like, all right, Aleister Black, I'm leaving. I want out. I want to go back to WWE.
Yep.
You know?
And look, most of the people that bailed WWE is under the McMahon era, when McMahon let people go, this and that.
Yep.
Triple H has shown that he can be a great boss, that he has has what it takes with wrestlers like, they can match Dollar. If they had to match Dollar, they could match Dollar. And look, sometimes if the whole you want to have time off thing, that it gets to you, I understand that. But Triple H is giving time off people. You're getting the whole goddamn holiday weekend off. Like the whole 2 weeks. They never got that before. They were doing house shows and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of these wrestlers should reconsider. Once their contracts are up, reach out to Triple H.
That's the thing, though, is that WWE can match Dollar with Tony Khan on any talent with TKO, but they're not going to. They're not going to overpay. They're not going to overreach for a talent that might not be what they want them to be, or might fizzle out, or might not catch on with the group, or that they don't have any creative for. They're no longer going to just buy talent to make it to where AEW can't pick them up.
Yeah.
They don't see AEW as a threat anymore.
No.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
AEW had their, and that's why I make the comparison to WCW, because during COVID, AEW had the few month run where their show was outperforming WWE shows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Eric Bischoff's whole claim to fame. And now that's not the case anymore, where AEW is barely releasing their viewership numbers. Even with after Max, they didn't come out about their big Max deal. They're not toting their deal with Max like they were with WWE's with Netflix, because there's nothing to brag about there, and their viewership numbers are in the toilet.
The crazy thing is, yes, AEW was beating the likes of NXT because it was NXT. NXT has picked up pace where it started beating AEW shows. That the Tuesday, when they had AEW on Tuesday nights, and they had it beat them.
They got away from the 2.0 stuff.
Exactly. And what they do is signing Julia, signing Stephanie, really hit them in the freaking goddamn nutsack, because they really wanted those girls, because they're fantastic talent. I wish Offspring, I wish the Rainmaker would have came to the W, because they could have been great stories with those guys. Wrestling the likes of the wrestlers we have here. And maybe down the road, I know Offspring said some things that that kind of jab at Triple H, but believe it or not, he's a great talent. Triple H will definitely listen, your contract's up, come join the big leagues.
Like you said earlier in the show, Dom, if they can get past the CM Punk, because CM Punk had beef with Triple H too.
I know.
If CM Punk and Triple H can get past their beef, then that means that anybody can be forgiven and be brought into WWE.
Exactly.
But that's it for our reviews of this week's programming. And I'm going to hand it over to Styx for his wrestling time tunnel.
All right. So this week, we've decided to kind of go through these LJN wrestlers. I'm covering series 1 and 2 this week. LJN wrestlers. LJN was a game company, and they also made toys back in 1984. This line went 84 to 89. I can get this together. There we go. The first series, you had Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, Hillbilly Jim, and Hulk Hogan with the championship belt. That gives you. Let me make mine a little bigger so I can read it better. According to this is a pretty up to date website where I got this. You have an estimate of 388 on like this Andre the Giant, loose maybe at around $50. Big John about 275 with a 42 loose.
Is that
Hillbilly
MOC
Jim.
mint on card?
Yeah.
Mint on card. Yeah. Mint on card.
Okay.
Yeah. Hillbilly Jim 214 with a 54 loose, and Hogan 532
Jesus.
with a 64 loose.
It's,
But
sorry,
I'm going to show you
it's just
some.
real quick.
I'll show you sales after this.
It's just crazy how Hulk Hogan demands a lot of money.
Yeah. Still,
And that's why the merchandise for Hulk Hogan sells. And you're right. If the booing continues, Hulkamania is definitely. But old school Hulk Hogan stuff, like last week with the damn card, $14,000 for that damn card.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say, but think about it. Without Hulk Hogan, without Hulkamania, I don't think professional wrestling is the spectacle it is today.
I know.
Absolutely not.
So
No.
he grew up, growing up in the 80s and 90s, he was your hero. He was everywhere. He was that larger than life character.
When he was Thunder Lips in Rocky 2, right? It was Rocky 2 or 3?
Yeah.
2. He blew up. He
Okay.
blew up on that, and that's what happened. He became Hulkamania. Really took off after his appearance in Rocky.
Yeah.
So kind of crazy.
All right. Then
I don't know. I don't know if it was his appearance in Rocky. You think his
It
appearance
helped.
in Rocky is what made him a superstar?
I don't know.
I think it was the likes of Suburban Commando.
That's a Suburban Commando. What's that smell? Dookie.
That's what you want, or Mr. Nanny.
What about Tropic
Academy
Thunder?
Award winner.
The short-lived TV show with the boat.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Or Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. That's pinnacle Hulk Hogan right there. That's that superstar Hulk Hogan we're talking about. Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny,
Hollywood Hogan.
Mr. Hollywood. Yeah.
Thunder in Paradise.
All right. Go ahead and advance the. There you go. We also got in this series Iron Sheik.
Hey, Sticks, don't tell me what to do.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Thank you. Jimmy Snuka. We have Junkyard Dog and Ivan Nikolai Volkov.
That does not look like Nikolai Volkov.
I don't.
That looks like the
think so?
Godfather.
I think it looks like Nikolai Volkov.
It definitely. He has a little the hat, the furry hat on it.
That furry hat, yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Sheik here. They say an estimate of midnight card for 247 with a loose of 44. Superfly Snuka 364 with a loose of 37. And Junkyard Dog 341 with a loose of 95.
What? That's 26. What is the light shining on Junkyard Dog? The Preston plastic looks like a pair of underwear that's coming down.
It looks like a
It
pair,
looks
yeah.
like a pair of panties.
Yeah, right. A pair of panties hanging on the bottom of his leg.
Hey, the girls were probably throwing it while he was in the ring.
Oh.
You know. And Volkov, 173, $59.
I'm surprised the Junkyard Dog is that much. Meant on a card.
So I'm going to show you some of the sold things here. First, I'll show you some of the variants. There are 2 variants. Yeah, Junkyard Dog. He came with a black chain and a silver chain.
Oh, damn.
And there's a Roddy Piper who came with the maroon boots and red boots.
Which one's more expensive?
They didn't really command any difference.
No.
In this one, because they were. It wasn't like it was like a short. Like there's gonna be some down the line where you see the color is like a short run. You know, it's like they must have ran out of that color or something. It's definitely different from the other.
It reminds me of the old Star Wars toys, the different variants. Fucking Luke with red hair, or fucking brown hair, fucking red hair, yellow hair, crazy stuff. And they have all those variants.
So like with Piper, yes, he gets the maroon boots, but when you get the red boots, it's not too hard to think that the ink or the paint is just lighter. You know, it's not a huge deal right there.
But if you're a collector back then, you're not going to know, like, oh shit, they got 2 different versions of this. What's going on? Like, wait a minute, gold chain.
Sometimes you don't even notice. So, all right, go ahead, Matt. Thank you. There's the Roddy Piper, $291 MOC mid-on card, and a loose of 78. These were recent sales. There was an Andre the Giant who sold recently for $10 with $20 shipping.
Wow, I think that was a low price for Andre the Giant.
I think that's really low for that.
It is very low.
And because when you look at here, we got Big John Stud sold for $1,200 back in December.
Big John Stud.
Line card. The bubble was a little yellowed, but it was still attached.
I'm surprised, man. The yellowing usually brings the value down.
It can, but it depends on how often it comes up.
I know, but if that blister was clear, easily probably 1,700.
It probably would have. It might have gone up more. Yeah. And then we had Hillbilly Jim sold back in November for $300 at a high. Iron Sheik had a sale in December around Christmas for $500. In November, we had a Hulk Hogan sold for $1,500 on card. Not graded, just mint on card. And a Snuka, there were no carded sales, but an ungraded or an uncarded loose sold for $76.77.
Something else.
Yeah. Junkyard Dog. This is the black chain. This one sold for $722. Volkov sold for $800, and a Piper with the red. That was
graded. That Volkov was graded one. That's why
it's not graded. It's just in an acrylic case.
It says AFA 75. It's graded.
It didn't have a grade on the bag.
It's on the side.
There are a couple. Is it on the side? Because there are a couple that just say in acrylic case. So I thought maybe that was the same.
Oh, okay. And the other one that says Roddy Piper CSA graded, the Roddy Piper is 7577858585.
Yeah, CAS is a
another
it's a grading company, but it's not like CGC or AFA.
I know it's just the toy companies usually go.
It's like they just give you a number. They give you a number for it. They don't slab it or any other kind of thing like that. Okay, and then Series 2. We got another Andre the Giant. This time he has shorter hair.
He looks like he's taking a dump.
You're right.
What the? It looks like he's got explosive diarrhea.
Well, remember you ever heard the story about him on the plane? That they had the plane. He couldn't fit inside the bathroom, and he really took these massive these dumps that stunk, that destroyed like the whole friggin' plane. people were complaining. It was
So for him, we got a 434 on card with a 96 loose.
okay.
Brutus Beefcake, 301 on card with $37 loose. George the Animal Steel, 221 on card, $48 loose. And Greg the Hammer Valentine, 196 on card with a $34 loose.
It's kind of crazy that Andre the Giant. George
two more. Yeah, two more.
Professor. He was a professor as a wrestler, but a professor at school.
Yeah. King Kong Bundy, 275 on card with $63 loose. And Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, 288 on card with a $38 loose average. But here we got some recent sales. That Andre the Giant on card, $295 back in November. Also back in November, Brutus sold for $305. Back in September, George the Animal Steel sold for $225, almost $226. Mr. Wonderful sold in December for $1,150. King Kong Bundy sold for $413 back in November, and just January 2nd, Greg the Hammer Valentine sold for $224.
Like they say, unpunched mint on card rare.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the thing for collectors, if you can find one unpunched, that's perfect. So next week I'll have some Rumble stuff.
Okay.
And then I'll do some LJNs again another week. But next week I'll have something for the Rumble.
Cool. Nice, Sticks. Good job, buddy.
Yep.
All right, now it's time for Dom with Off the Mat Spotlight. Who's our spotlight on this week, Dom?
Seth freaking Rollins, man. You got to go with Seth Rollins. He's been many things, ring names. He's been, it's kind of crazy how he's been over 10 years doing what he's doing, and the different personas he had, and the acolytes that he's had from when he began to now. It's just amazing that he is one of the best talents in the league in wrestling, and and it's kind of crazy how he was told that he hurts people, that he injured a lot of people like Finn Balor, like Sting, all those people that got injured. But hey, look, in wrestling, injuries do happen. It's sad you blame a person that has injury. Like anything can happen. Like Nia Jax is also targeted for that too because of the way she wrestles too. But Seth Rollins, he's the MVP in wrestling in my book. They have to give him all the money they possibly can. He's 38 years old now. Yeah, he still has another 10, maybe another 15 years, depending on how he conditions his body. But the wear and tear. But he is the MVP, and I've always liked Seth Rollins. I think he's one of my favorite wrestlers. So he had a huge friggin' novel-sized bio with things. So I didn't want to take every single thing. I just did, the spotlight on who he is and, the accolades that he won, the championships he won, and just talk a little bit about him. What persona you liked, and, do you see him going back to any of the personas later on, what's going on now in Raw and stuff like that. So, called by Daniel Lopez, he signed to WWE. He's on the Red brand, the Raw brand. Yep. He's under the ring name right now, Seth freaking Rollins. If they ever started cursing, it'd be Seth fucking Rollins, but Seth freaking Rollins. He was born in Davenport, Iowa. He actually has a coffee shop. He has a coffee shop in Iowa. If you go to Iowa, he has coffee shops there. So you get some coffee shops that bear his name.
From Seth freaking Coffee?
Yeah, Seth freaking Coffee. Right? And he's married to Becky Lynch, and he has one child. We can go to the
lucky man.
All right, so the championships that he's gone through in WWE, he was a two-time WWE Universal Champion, a two-time champion, which alongside he stole World Heavyweight Championship from reign makes him a 5-time world champion. He got that. He also was the winner of the 2014 Money in the Bank, ladder match. He'll cash it in, the main event of WrestleMania where he won his first WWE championship.
That was a great cash in.
That was great. He also a 2-time Intercontinental Championship, which he did a great thing with that championship. All right, so now we'll go next page. All right, so everything you see here is what he's won, on his journey to WWE, and so absolute intense wrestling. He won the AIW Intense Championship one time. He won the AAW World Heavyweight Championship twice in All American Wrestling. Also, the AAW Tag Team Championship 2 times with Merrick Brave one time and Jimmy Jacobs one time. You go to Florida World Championship Wrestling, where he won the FCW Florida Heavy World Championship one time. The FCW with the Jack Briscoe 15-time championship one time. So I don't, I was looking at that, the 15-time championship. Did he win the championship? It was the Jack Briscoe, because
Jack Briscoe was the 15-time.
15 times. So he won that. Then the FCW Florida Tag Team Championship one time with Richie Steamboat.
Oh wow! Really?
Also, he Jack Briscoe Classic he won in 2011. The first the FCW Grand Slam champion he became. Yeah. Then he went to Full Impact Pro. He won the FIP World Heavyweight Championship one time. Then the Independent Wrestling Association Mid-South. He won the IWA Mid-South Light Heavyweight Championship one time.
Mid-South Wrestling, yeah.
Mid-South Wrestling. Then he won the MCPW World Hand Championship one time. And then he won the NWA Midwest Tag Team Championship one time with Merrick Brave again. And then New York Post, he had the match of the year with Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell. The Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, he won the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Tag Team Championship one time with Jimmy Jacobs. Also, Pro Wrestling Illustrated Feud of the Year with Dean Ambrose in 2014. The Most Hated Wrestler in 2015 to 2020. He won. I don't know. Did he win it in 2015 and 2020, or he?
Yeah, no. They're the commenter. Yeah, they're the commenter.
So he also won Tag Team Champion Team of the Year 2013 with Roman Reigns. He was the Wrestler of the Year in 2015 and 2023. Well deserved. He ranked number 1 in the top 500 single wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2015, 2019, and 2023. The Ring of Honor World Championship. They a little off the mat covering it. I can't see that. He won the Ring of Honor World Championship with Jimmy Jacobs as well. He won the World Ring of Honor Championship #1 contender tournament in 2008. He won the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship in 2008 with Jimmy Jacobs again. And then he won Survival of the Fitness in 2009.
Okay.
In Rolling Stone, best briefly storyline in 2015 with Dean Ambrose. The most puzzling new finisher in 2015, the pedigree, because he got the pedigree from Triple H. He started using that because the stomp it was too dangerous to use at that time. The most smothered in ring potential, 2014.
Yeah.
He ranked number 9 of 10 the best WWE wrestlers of 2016. And then he won Sports Illustrated, ranked number 3 of the top 10 men's wrestlers of 2018, Wrestler of the Year in 2022. There's another slide in it. Yeah, here we go. Then Wrestling Observer Newsletter, he won the Tag Team Championship of the Year with 2013 with Roman Reigns. The Worst Feud of the Year 2013 as part of the Authority versus Big Show. The Worst Feud of the Year in 2019 versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Worst match of the
I
year.
agree with that. I agree with that. That Bray Wyatt feud was horrible.
It was like a bunch of Bray Wyatt stuff that it was the worst.
Yeah.
WWE World Champion 2 times, as we said before. The WWE Heavyweight Championship 1 time in Integral. Also, the WWE Universal Champion 2 times. NXT Champion 1 time. WWE Intercontinental Championship 2 times. United States Championship 2 times. Raw Tag Team Champion 6 times with Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Jason Jordan, Braun Strowman, Buddy Murphy. At that time, he was called Buddy Murphy, which was fun. Money in the Bank in 2014. Men's Royal Rumble in 2019. World Heavyweight Championship Tournament in 2023. The Gold Rush Tournament in 2012. Also became the 29th Triple Crown Champion. The 11th Grand Slam Champion on the current format, 19 overall. Second 2-time Grand Championship. Slammy Award 10 times. Anti-gravity movement of the year. Diving off the balcony, it had payback. I remember that.
I do.
Breakout star of the year 2013 with Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns as a Shield.
Mm-hmm.
The double cross of the year 2014, portraying the Shield and joining the Authority. Fraction of the year with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns as a Shield. Fan participation 2014, You Sold Out. Match of the year 2014, Team Authority Survivor Series. The Rizzy of the year 2024. That must be really new. I don't know how the Rizzy came about. Superstar of the year 2015. Trending Now hashtag of the year 2013. Believe in the Shield with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns as a Shield. The WWE Year-End Award for the Best Reunion 2018 as part of the Shield. That actually was pretty good, him coming back, getting the Shield back after so long and trying to get them together the one last time before it finally ended. The Bumpy Award 1 time. Best Dressed of the Year, of the half year 2021 with Sonya Deville. He actually, his fucking outfits that he comes out with, he beat Sonya Deville half and hurry up, they both got it. Yeah. Also, the Gawker Award 2019 versus the Fiend Wade Bryant in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, Wade Bryant, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Wade Bryant.
Bryant. Yeah.
Like Wade Bryant.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and that's it. You know, like, do you like Seth Rollins' current run? What's going on now?
Yes, I like him. What he's doing. I've liked pretty much everything he's done except for the Messiah. I didn't care for the Messiah stuff.
You didn't like the Messiah?
No.
I like the music. When the music came out and he came out as the Messiah, it was okay with the whole thing with the whole Dominic and Buddy Murphy and Rey Mysterio. Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, the Messiah persona was kind of I actually like his persona now. Seth freaking Rollins coming out with those outfits. He reminds me of the modern day Macho Man, if you really think about it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I agree. The way he comes out and the way he does his thing. I still think he's one of the best wrestlers today, in WWE. He makes other guys look good. Do you see him winning another championship in the next 5 years?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Without question. I mean,
will it be? He's definitely a pillar of their program. So
yeah,
not having him with a belt at no point seems a waste for him.
Well, I think if he does build a connection with McIntyre and KO, that does come to that really happens. I can see them getting away from the belts for a while, just to cause some havoc, and then down the road trying to go for a tag team championship belt, or teaming up with KO again, or teaming up with McIntyre, winning the. I like McIntyre. I want to see him with gold, but I don't see gold, single title gold in his future. Tag team championship gold, yes, I see they might do that just to give him some gold, just to get away from the championship because there's all these new guys that are coming in that are new feuds. You don't want to keep saying the same guys over and over again, winning the belt. Don't get it wrong. Like if you like a guy, the guy's a hot.
You definitely got to rotate it.
You know, you want them to win, but I see Seth Rollins, KO, or McIntyre winning tag team gold for the time being. You know, and then one more big storyline to win the belt, and you win that belt. And I think freaking Seth Rollins will win championship again, one more time before he calls it quits. You know, and really make that move because look, he's gonna have to win the belt again. He's gonna turn if he turns into a heel again. You know, back and forth. But tag team championships, I see him winning. Other than that, it's
been a
up
while
in the air.
since he's been in a tag team, so
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? You think tag team? You think he?
I don't know about tag team. I definitely think he'll be world heavyweight champion again. Potentially has a run with WWE Championship too, with the Raw Netflix stuff, depending on how they handle all that.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna win the title a couple more times before he's all said and done.
Okay.
But that leads us to our last segment of the night. Off the Mat presents predictions. We're gonna go over the match card for Saturday night main event, and we're gonna give you our predictions. We'll go around the panel and give our predictions of what we think is going to happen at Saturday night main event. The headliner of the night is World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Jey Uso. Does Jey Uso finally get it done? Does Jey Uso win his first World Heavyweight Championship?
No.
You don't see the Yeet Man.
No. I don't see it happening right here. No, I don't see him beating Gunther. I think Gunther holds on to the title a little bit longer. I think Jimmy will get a belt. I don't think it'll be from Gunther though.
Dom?
Yeah, I would stick to that. I think Gunther retains. I think if Jimmy Uso does, if Jay does, win a belt, it's going to be WrestleMania on a bigger stage, and he'll win it there to get his dream come true by winning. I don't think. I think this match was rushed, just to make a card for Saturday Night Main Event. Gunther is going to go up against a bigger opponent. Jey Uso became a mega star now. He's doing his thing, but championship material now, no. Down the road, down the road in a bigger spotlight. Then Saturday Night Main Event is just a jobber card where you throw in some good matches, and I'll be surprised if anybody wins. If anybody wins the championship.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I don't see that happening because it's 1 week from Royal Rumble. They want to sell Royal Rumble.
Yep.
You're not gonna see any title change hands, but we could have a curveball because does Gunther have an opponent at Royal Rumble?
I don't
know.
know.
Do we potentially see a Jey Uso championship upset, only to him, only to lose the belt at a rematch at Royal Rumble?
I don't think they don't get the rematch right away. So if he wins, Gunther's got to go through the gauntlet again before he can get the rematch. So that's why I'm thinking that Gunther retains, and Jay, sets his sights from the Rumble. Where he comes out in the Rumble, so.
I foresee Gunther winning, but I foresee Jey Uso only losing due to interference by Solo Sikoa or a member of the New Bloodline.
Yes.
Then we're going to see Intercontinental Championship Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. Do we see Sheamus finally obtaining that untainable gem and winning the Intercontinental Championship?
Again, I don't think they're going to change the title this week.
Braun Breaker.
I think it's going to be.
Listen, have a match at Royal Rumble.
I don't think they're. Hey, it's through me. I don't think that Braun is going to drop it on Saturday. I think it's going to be a really great match, and it's going to go the wire. But I just don't see it changing hands.
I see interference in that match. Kaiser coming in and interfering with that match, and Braun Breaker holding the match. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get a rise of the crowd by giving it to Sheamus, because Sheamus, once he wins that, his time is almost up, because he said that he's doing what he's doing. He can't do this forever. Maybe in the next couple of years he's going to retire because he's been through a lot. I can see him doing that curveball and making people happy because they want to see him win. But I see an interference in that match too. I think the Saturday Night Main Event card has a lot of interference in a lot of the matches to people who have the championship belts to retain. But Ron Breaker is definitely going to hold on to the belt.
I think it's the opposite. I think they give it to Sheamus. I think the belt gets taken off Braun Breaker. It goes to Sheamus. He climbs that mountain, and it's a nice story to ride off into Royal Rumble weekend with. Next up, we have Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, a match where I think Jacob Fatu has to come out and just absolutely destroy Braun Strowman.
Yep.
It cannot be a close contest. It cannot be a back and forth. Jacob Fatu needs to destroy Braun Strowman to basically put that seal of approval on him and stamp him as this new beast that they're trying to build him to be. What now that Bronson Reed is on the shelf?
Well, how about this? You have Jacob Fatu come out and just totally annihilate Braun Strowman, do a couple of friggin' somersaults and friggin' flips on him, and gets him out 1, 2, 3. Like, holy shit, he defeated the beast. He defeated Braun Strowman, the monster among men. 1, 2, 3. This guy's an animal.
And really, in the center of the ring.
Yep. Boom. 1, 2, 3. He comes out. They tussle a little bit. Boom. He gets him down. He does a flip. Boom. I think he's going to do 3 flips on him. 3. 1, 2, 3. Just show his talent. And there might even be him jumping off the ring onto the announce table and taking Braun Strowman out. Type of thing with that. That might be the match of the night, if you really think about it.
I think it will be. I think it will be the match of the night.
Yeah.
I think it will go back and forth a little bit, but in the end, I think something will happen to Strowman. Fatu will take over, and like Dom said, he's going to destroy him towards the end, and I think he will pin him. I think he will pin him in the ring. I don't think there'll be a count out. I don't think it'll be any kind of interference. I think he gets them clean in the ring.
Then we have our women's world championship match: Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. I think this one's going to end in and this is going to end in interference, some way, shape, or form. Whether it's Bayley, whether it's Liv Morgan.
We never seen Liv Morgan. We didn't see her last week.
Well, she was in that spot with Dom.
She was
in the backstage, but
kind of
that was all we saw of her.
This I don't see this.
We saw her a little bit in the backstage behind. That was about all we saw of her. Yeah,
but I definitely don't see Rhea winning the belt. Nia Jax winning the belt here. I think Rhea's going to hold it for a while, especially since she took so long.
I think we'll get like a double disqualification on him.
And then we have Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens set for the Royal Rumble contract signing, which I guess I realized it, but our Royal Rumble, we're a week from Royal Rumble, and our Royal Rumble card is the men and women's match and the Cody KO ladder match. That's it.
Yep.
They have there's got to be a lot of stuff spinning out of Saturday Night Main Event that's going to lead to the Royal Rumble.
Yep. That
we're waiting to see set up for. But do we get any surprises or fireworks in the contract signing, or is it just, do you foresee it being a usual WWE contract signing where KO beats the piss out of Cody Rhodes?
There's nothing ever usual about these contract signings.
Yeah.
I think God, someone's gonna show up for the
How about
signing.
Roman Reigns? How about Roman Reigns showing up?
I'm thinking
To back Cody up because Cody backed him up. Because I think McIntyre is gonna help KO. He's gonna try to help KO against him, and I think Roman Reigns comes out, and it's gonna be the disqualified match. The match ain't. No one's gonna have a clear winner. I think McIntyre comes out, helps KO beat the shit out of Cody, and Roman Reigns comes out and fight, and then you're gonna get. Maybe you get a tag team match at Rumble at the WrestleMania. Like I said, at Royal Rumble. I mean, Royal Rumble. You get a match tag team Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus KO and Mac.
Well, the KO Rhodes ladder match is at Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Okay, that's right. Yes. So, I'm sorry. My mistake. I forgot that it's at the Rumble. I still think that Roman Reigns is going to come help Cody.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see it being a usual WWE contract signing where, the heel's going to get one up on the face, and Cody's probably going to eat another package pile driver, or he's going to go hit him with a package pile driver, and Randy Orton comes out for the save.
Yep, Randy Orton's going to come out too. You never know.
Who knows? But I just think this is just a precursor to Royal Rumble, and it is a little concerning that Royal Rumble is only a week away, and we don't have a full match card. Right now, we have the women's match, the men's match, and
look at this card. This card was up until this Monday. We finally got that last match.
Let me ask you a question.
That's crazy.
They wait for last minute to do things. So we'll probably get a Naomi and friggin' EST friggin' tag team match.
Bianca Belair.
We'll find out maybe at the Rumble who took out friggin' Jay Cargo. You'll finally find that out the Royal Rumble.
Let's hope.
And then like I said, you could have the match, a Tiffany Stratton match. It's going to probably be against who's going to fight? You figure Nia Jax gets a freaking rematch. Tiffany time? I don't know, because like I said, we don't know how things are going with that, but everything probably by the end of next week we'll get Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. We'll get going right into the Royal Rumble. We'll get the matches of what's going to happen, and I don't like that. I like when they predict the card way in advance, like this last minute stuff. It kind of like rushes the story.
Does it rush the story? Does it make excitement because you're keeping the dirt sheets guessing and people aren't already out there?
That can go both ways. That can go both ways. I mean, when you hit like the Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, I'm fine with that. That's fine.
Hey, we could pull
but there's some stuff that you want to be able to build up. You don't want to just throw it in there just because it's a week away. You want to have to be able to build into it.
Throw it all in.
Yeah.
Well,
it's February 1st, right? The Royal Rumble's February 1st?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, February 1st. Yep. So next week is the last week because February 1st is, because shit. On Monday, you'll find out, and Monday and the Friday, you'll find out the rest of the card for Saturday, which is going to be crazy.
I hope so, but that brings us into this piece of news. Next week, we are doing our Royal Rumble match card prediction show where we're going to go through both the men's and women's matches, and we're going to tell you where we think who's going to enter and at what spot and what surprises are being held. Are we going to see Jordynne Grace? Are we going to see the return of Becky Lynch? The return of Alexa Bliss? What other surprises are being held for the Royal Rumble? Join us next week as we go through our entire match card prediction for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Alexa. Every time I say Alexis, my Alexa goes off. But
always listening. Those things are always listening.
That's it. That is our show for this week. Good show, boys. I hope you all enjoyed the show, and I hope you enjoyed this week's slate of WWE programming, AEW, TNA, New Japan, or whatever program you're watching. You guys have any final thoughts about this week in wrestling?
Yeah, it should be exciting going into the next week. We're gonna have a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a Raw, NXT. We're gonna get freaking Smackdown, the Royal Rumble. We got a lot going on. This week is gonna be a busy week. And if you throw AEW in there, if you want to watch that too, that's gonna be in there too. So you have a lot of wrestling going into next week. I'm excited. I want to see what happens. The card. That's right. There's only the women's, the men's, and the ladder match with Owens and Cody.
All right.
Yeah, we'll find out. It should be exciting. It should be good. Hopefully it turns out the way we like it.
Yeah, I think the week of wrestling that we had was good enough to keep us interested, and I look forward to the Rumble and see what's going on there. Makes the way they're booking it now though makes me wonder if a 2-day Rumble is worth it next year. But we'll see. I guess we got a year to think on that one.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. At least if you have a 2-day Rumble, you have more room for other cards that never get a chance to fight. Like you could have a really great card, and then you have the A card and you have the B card.
Right.
So most likely with the Raw, this is what's going to probably happen. The fights are going to be SmackDown fights on one night, and the other one's Raw nights. The fights from Raw. They're not going to. They won't split it anymore because it's going back to the freaking draft type of thing where you're exclusive to that one brand. After this whole thing up to WrestleMania, it's changing.
It's gonna be tough because if you do have 2 days, what do you do? The men's on one day and the women's on the next day, or do you do women's first, then men's? I mean,
well, you want. I think you want to have the excitement. I think Sunday night would be the men's. Saturday night would be the women's. And
I would put the men's on Saturday, and put women on Sunday, and then have your big match after the women's match to round out the weekend.
They go to Saudi Arabia, and that's the sad part.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't like that story. But anyway, that's just me.
Well, that'll be for our show this week. Remember to check out our Rumble match prediction show next week. And on that note, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you right back here next Thursday, same time, with a couple of surprise guests, a couple of Rumble entries of our own.
Yep.
And until that time, have a great week and go enjoy some good, wholesome professional wrestling.
Yep.